Hey folks, this is John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods, and we are here today in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location in our photo studio to go over the next addition to our inventory, and that is going to be this car sitting right behind me. This is a 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner. So just to give you kind of a brief rundown of the car before I begin our walk around, again, 68 Roadrunner. This is in fact the correct color for the car, Matador red. It does have the black on the hood scoops as well as the black interior in it as well, and we'll see that once we get to it. As far as the driveline goes, we have a non-numbers matched 383 cubic inch Mopar engine. We've got the 883 new process 4-speed manual transmission, and we also have the Mopar 8 3/4 inch rear. I believe it was a shore grip rear, and I think that was a 370 gear, I want to say. And as far as the running gear, the brakes, the steering, and so forth, on this particular car, we have manual on both of those. So manual steering, manual brakes. It is drum brakes all the way around. It does in fact have the emergency brake all hooked up as well. And as far as the wheels and tires, as you can see on this car, went with a really classic look here with this. They went with the stock Steely style wheels here, 15-inch in diameter, along with those chrome center caps there. And then for the tires, we went with Cobra Radial GTs, all black wall. So that everything kind of blends together good here. And then the sizes on those are 235, 60 R15s. Now with our Roadrunner, the way you see it sitting here, kind of plain, not too much flash to go over here. We do in fact have the chrome front and rear bumpers, but as far as the bright work goes on the car, really not a whole lot to go over other than what we see around like the windows and so forth as far as the trim and the moldings. Now up on our hood, again, you've got the scoops there on your Roadrunner hood. Of course, you do see the 383 badging right in the scoops, and again that does signify what is underneath the hood on this particular car. As far as the rest of the car, we come back to our door, and we do have the little Roadrunner decals here along with the Roadrunner badges here also, just like it should be. Now again, we can check out our door gaps to the front side as well as the back side of the door, and those are pretty uniform. All of our body lines and so forth all match up here as we go back the car. And as far as the elevations go, as far as your front fenders and your rear quarter panels are in relationship to the door, that all looks nice and straight on the car as well. Chrome bright work that we see over here now, we've got of course the driver's side mirror. The chrome is in fairly good shape here. Do have a little bit of pitting on the back side of that mirror, and then the glass that's in the mirror is in excellent shape here. As far as our bright work up around our windows, the trim and so forth that you see here, our vent windows, just a very little wee bit of pitting there, but again all nice and straight, no dents or dings anywhere. Same thing with our drip rail moldings here. Those are all nice and straight too, and in really good shape and securely anchored to the car. As far as that rain gutter, I always like to feel up through there just to let you guys know that that is in fact nice and smooth through there. Our glass is slightly tinted. No chips or cracks in any of the glass. And then as far as the rest of the trim, you have the trim work around your driver's side window, and then of course down here where your quarter window is, and that is all in really good shape too. No pitting on that at all. Same thing with our door handles. The chrome is in really good shape on those door handles. Now let's open our door up, take a look at our interior here for the first time. So again, all black vinyl interior here. You do notice we've got the front bench seat up front. It is a split bench, so you're able to recline or whatever, or pull those backs separately, each one. As far as the rear seat, that is a full bench seat in the rear. seat belts up front and in the back there to keep everybody all nice and secure, and they are retractable belts up front. Factory dash, of course, across the front of the car there with factory instrumentation. You do in fact have two aftermarket gauges down below the dash. Those are going to be your water temperature and your oil pressure gauges. And if you look just slightly to the side of that, of course you'll notice the Hurst 4-speed shifter there. Again, that goes right to that 4-speed transmission, and it has the white Hurst shift ball or shift knob on top there. Again, it shifts very nice and easy. As far as the steering wheel, that's going to be a factory steering wheel. And as far as all of your seat upholstery as well as the carpeting, all of which are in great shape. There's no rips or tears, no fading whatsoever. All of that looks to be in good shape. Out here at the door panels look really good too. Of course, we've got all the bright work or the trim on the interior panels. That all looks nice. Even the armrest pads are even in good shape here. A lot of times you'll see some cracks and so forth in those, but again, none of that on this particular side. We'll take a look at the other side when we get there. And then that mirror that we spoke about, that is a remote mirror, so you can adjust that from inside the car. The other thing we always check out real quick before we shut the door is our weather stripping and our seals up around the door frame as well as around our door itself. Everything is all in good shape here. There's no rips or tears, all securely anchored to the car. We even have the little rubber bump stops here in the doors. So we'll go ahead and close this. Again, that shuts nice and easy, good solid thud, and again, everything all lines up. As we come back to the rear of the car, again, our quarter panels are nice and straight on the car. We'll look up at our rear window here next and check that out. So again, your Roadrunner, nice big window here, no chips or cracks anywhere on the window. You might see a little bit of a scratch or something there, but again, it is a 60-plus-year-old car. All of your bright work and trim work, your moldings around the window, all in good shape here, all securely fastened. They're not bent up or anything, so that all looks good. As far as the trunk lid goes, of course, on a Roadrunner, you're going to have a really big trunk lid, but again, that panel has been adjusted very nice. All of your gaps all the way around the trunk all look to be in really good condition and all nice and uniform side to side, front to back. Come to the back of the car here, and again, we've got several things that we'll go over here now. Of course, we have our bezels around our taillights as well as the lenses for both taillights here. Those are in great shape. The bright work here, no pitting around the taillights. And then again, the lenses have no chips or cracks anywhere in those. Of course, we have around the back side of our trunk lid here, all the cladding here for the Plymouth Roadrunner. Again, that all looks to be in good shape. You still have your Roadrunner decal over here as well. And then the rear bumper on the car is really in nice shape. No pitting, there's no cracks, no scratches, nothing on the rear bumper. It looks really good. So all the way down, that looks to be in great shape. Then of course we see our tailpipes there as they stick out right underneath the rear bumper. So let's go ahead and grab our keys next. We're going to go inside the trunk and take a look at that. So first and foremost, the key does in fact work that trunk lock very nicely. The underside of the trunk done in the same Matador red as the exterior of the car. And of course, you do have the instruction decal up there for your spare tire and jack instructions. You do have the rubber bump stops on your trunk lid on both sides. And then of course, all of your weather stripping here around the trunk is all in good shape. Again, no rips or tears anywhere there. It meets right together in the center, and then all of your water channels or your rain gutters back here are all good and solid. That's going to direct any kind of water from the outside elements or from washing it right out the back of the car. You're never going to have to worry about it getting in the trunk. Of course, inside the trunk, all done in the red. Also, you've got a full-size spare tire back there with the bumper jack, the hold down and everything for it all back there. And again, the trunk floor itself is in very nice shape. Again, all painted up. You can see no patching on the trunk floor itself. Looks good and solid. Just really nice trunk here as far as the condition goes there. And again, you get that trunk mat too, and it's in great shape. So let's go ahead and shut our trunk. Again, that shuts easy, and then we'll continue on to the passenger side. Again, looking up along the side of the car, nice and straight here as far as the quarter panels go. Same thing, the sail panels, everything on this car all look to be in really good shape as far as the metal goes. So we'll come up here to our windows. That's kind of where we'll start our descriptive terminology here now. So as far as, again, the rain gutter moldings or the drip rail moldings, those are all in great shape. The rain gutter itself is nice and smooth. All of our bright work around our wing windows, this side looks really good. Again, down the quarter window here, that all looks good too, along with the door handle. No pitting on any of those. As far as the glass goes, glass looks good on this side as well. No chips or cracks anywhere there. And again, your gaps on your door for your passenger side, all pretty uniform. And again, you've got the Roadrunner badge as well as the decal over there on the door. Now let's go ahead and open up this side. That way you get to see the interior from both sides. Again, just checking out the condition of the dash, which is in great shape. The upholstery, the carpeting, all the way around. Just all of it looks to be in really good condition here on this car. And then as far as your door panel on the passenger side of the car, same thing over here. Looks good. All of your bright work looks good. The armrest pad, no rips or tears there either. And again, your weather stripping on your door all the way around. All very good shape here. There's no rips or tears anywhere. Rubber bump stops top and bottom. And again, all of your seals up around your door edge here, your door frame, that all looks good also. So we'll close this up. Then on our way to the front, again, a lot of people don't realize this. Mopar guys would, but you've got the Chrysler Pentastar badge or emblem down there on the passenger side fender. Again, it is not on both sides, and that is the way it was from the factory. We got the fender mount antenna, and then that'll bring us around to the front of the car. So 68 Plymouth Roadrunner, the grille on ours looks to be in good shape. There's nothing broke or anything there. A little bit older here as far as the grille goes, but again, probably the original grille for it. Again, all of your trim work around the headlights here and the grille, again, probably the original stuff. Just showing some light pitting around there. The headlights are going to be your traditional sealed beam units, glass lenses with no chips or cracks anywhere there, and your front bumper is in pretty decent shape there too. Again, nice and shiny. Might have just the occasional little tiny maybe scratch there on it. Other than that though, it's in really good shape here. Again, probably the original bumper for the car. If we look at our hood on the leading edge here, of course we do have the Plymouth badging on the hood. Up above that, again, you've got that dual scoop style Roadrunner hood, the black accent here right in the center. And again, as we saw before there, we've got the 383 badging right in those scoops. Now, as we come back, cowl panels in great shape, windshield wiper arms as well as blades are in good condition, windshield, no chips or cracks anywhere there. And of course, our trim work around the window is all securely anchored and is in really good shape here. No dents or dings anywhere around on that windshield trim. So we'll come around to the front now. We're going to open the hood next so that we can talk about the engine. So the hood latch does work, both of them, both your release and your secondary latch underneath. So again, the interior or the engine compartment, I should say, on the Mopars were always painted the same color as the exterior of the car. That's why you see the all red underneath here, including underneath the hood. You even have your little rubber flap underneath here. No modifications have been done to the hood, so this is exactly the way it should be. And then as far as the motor goes, hose. As I mentioned, not the original 383 motor, but it is 383. Again, you've got the factory style air cleaner up on top. Down below that, you've got a classic Holley 750 CFM carburetor. In your valve covers here, you've got the PCV valve and the breather so that everything vents properly. And as far as the intake goes, that is in fact an Edelbrock aluminum intake. Everything from the intake to the block, valve covers, and the water pump, all of that is all painted that same blue color. As far as the ignition goes on the car, we have a Mallory Unilite distributor, so a very good unit right here. A stock style coil and OE style plug wires on it as well. All of your radiator hoses and your heater hoses are all good and secure. No leaks anywhere, run nice and neat, everything there as far as that goes. Now, as I mentioned, it is a non-power steering, non-power brake car, but the exhaust on it, we start with the cast exhaust manifolds and then a complete 2¼ inch exhaust with turbo style mufflers underneath it. As far as the transmission goes, again, it's a 883 new process 4-speed manual transmission with the Mopar 8¾ shore grip rear in it as well. We do even have the fender tag underneath the hood there with all of your codes and so forth for the car. So at that point, this is where I always kind of recommend you folks out there that if you're not on our website, our company site, hanksters.com, I would always direct you to go there because you're going to see upwards of 100 photos of this car all the way around, inside, outside, underneath, everything. You can click on them, blow them up, study them, do whatever it is you want with those, save them if you'd like. Again, you're going to see our retail pricing. That retail pricing does include enclosed shipping to anywhere within the 48 contiguous states. It also includes our Hanksters 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you're interested in seeing exactly how that works, reach out to us. We'll be glad to go over it with you in case you would ever need to use that. Really simple process there with that. Parts and accessories for this car. If there is anything that you thought of as I was walking around the car that you would maybe like to have added, we do all kinds of installations here at Hanksters Hot Rods. So I would just encourage you to reach out to us, let us know what it is you're wanting to add. You know, a couple things come to mind with a car like this: possibly air, possibly power steering, maybe power brakes. Any of those or all of those, just reach out to us there, let us know what it is you're wanting to add. We'll be glad to get you pricing on parts and labor to have that installed. Welcome back, folks. Here we are back in our shop with our 68 Roadrunner up on our lift. So we're going to go through this car just like we always do, going over all the components that we see underneath here and kind of talking about the condition of everything as we see it under here. So starting at the front of the car, obviously we're going to be looking at the underside of our radiator here first and foremost. So again, what I'm looking for is any leaks or drips across the entire bottom of the radiator or at any of the hoses or things like the drain, petcock, and so forth. And on this particular car, no leaks whatsoever underneath here. Again, all your hoses and hose clamps are all good and secure, good and tight. The drain petcock, no leaks or anything. And again, the bottom of the radiator is sealed up nice and tight. We come back a little bit further. Of course, now we're going to talk about some of the frame and some of the suspension components underneath here. So first, we have the K-member underneath here. Again, a very important part to the Mopars, as this is where most of your suspension and so forth is going to all bolt to here. So again, that K-member is good and solid and nice and straight here underneath the car. We do have a 7/8 front sway bar here, and again, you can see that the bushings and so forth look like they've been probably at the frame here, probably just recently replaced, as all the hardware all looks very good. The actual the grease fittings and everything, those all look good too. Bushings, no splits or cracks, no signs of like dry rot or anything there, so that's going to be nice and tight. And the same thing with your sway bar end links. Bushings on those, no splits or cracks anywhere there. So those are going to be nice and tight as well. As far as the rest of the suspension underneath here, pretty much all your factory OE style components here. Your stamped steel components for your upper and lower control arms up front here. Those are all, you know, good and straight. Ball joints have all been checked out on everything, and those all have been maintained and greased up. Everything's nice and tight there. The front suspension, as far as the shocks go, those all look to be in good shape here too. Look to be fairly newer shocks up front. Not sure of the brand name. They're yellow in color, but all the mounting hardware and bushings and so forth for the shocks, those all look to be in really good shape too. Of course, with your Mopar, you do have the strut rod front suspension here. Everything there is nice and tight, and you also have the torsion bars also on this car, and as they go back, they're going to fit into the frame rails. And again, all of your bushings and so forth, those are all good and tight on both sides. So that is your front suspension. As far as the steering goes, we do have manual steering on this particular 68 Roadrunner, but we also check pitman arm, drag length, tie rods, and tie rod ends. And again, everything has been checked over on the bottom of this car. Everything looks to be in good shape, nice and tight. Ball joints and tie rod ends both, all in good shape, and all have the little rubber dust boot covers on them to help keep that grease in, dirt and debris out. And brakes, manual brakes as well on this car. We do have drums all the way around, although the drums work very good on the car. And as far as the wheels and tires, obviously, as you've seen on our walk around, we've got those 15-inch steely wheels with the chrome center caps and the body color painted wheels to kind of go along with the car. As far as those tires go, you can see here the tread's in great shape on those. These are the Cobra Radial GTs, and the size was 235/60/15 on all four corners, which makes it nice whenever it comes time to do any kind of tire rotations. Just simply move front to back, and there you have it. Now, as far as the driveline, we'll start talking about that a little bit here since we're up underneath the engine and transmission. So again, this is that 383 cubic inch Mopar engine here. We are looking at the oil pan here to make sure there's no leaks or drips anywhere around that, and it is dry, even at the drain plug and at the back of the pan here. All dry, no fluid anywhere. As we come back to the transmission, this is that 883 new process 4-speed transmission. Again, it is all dry too from front to back. It has the flywheel cover and torque converter cover here, right here, so nothing gets up in there and chips anything off of your flywheel. And then all the way at the back, your output shaft seal where your drive shaft slides into it there, that is all dry as well, and the seal all looks to be in good shape there. The actual transmission mount itself, or the cross member and the mount, all of which are in great shape, straight the whole way across here. And again, the mount for the tail shaft is in great condition. Before we get too far back here, again, we'll just kind of go over the exhaust here real briefly. We start at the cast exhaust manifolds at the engine, and then we've got the full 2¼ inch exhaust all the way back into a set of V-Force turbo style mufflers. And then of course it's got the tailpipes that go up over top of the rear end housing, then straight out the back of the car. So all of that's in good shape. Everything's welded up. As you can see, no clamps were used, all good welds underneath here to seal everything up. And then as far as the frame and the floors here, so the frame rail sections here, these are all nice and straight, good and square. Doesn't look like they've been, you know, hit on anything. That all looks good. As far as the floors go, the floors are just all super solid underneath here. Again, you can tell that everything all has the stamping lines and marks in it. All the drain plugs are in it. All the bracing is all present underneath the car. No holes or anything underneath here. So all looks good. And I believe It's like a really light, I think, undercoating that they use on these a lot of times. But again, you can see it's not overly coated. Again, it's going to show the whole condition of the floors, which again are very, very solid underneath here. As far as the drive shaft goes, it is a balanced steel drive shaft. Universals on either end have been checked over and are made sure that those are all good. And then of course our rear end, or our differential back here, we've got that Mopar 8 3/4 inch rear end here. It does have the posi, or as Mopar calls it, the short grip rear end there. 370 gear. Your center section, or your third member assembly, that is all dry all the way around, including the pinion seal as well. No leaks or drips anywhere here on the rear differential. The rear suspension, we've got the multi-leaf rear suspension here. That all looks good. All the leaves are in good shape here. U-bolts in great shape. Shocks all look good. Look to be fairly new underneath here too. All of your bushings and mounting hardware for your shocks, top and bottom, that all looks good as well. And again, drum brakes back here on the rear with the emergency brake all hooked up and functional. Again, same wheel and tire combination as the front. As far as the exhaust, the finishing of it there, as I said, you have the tailpipes up over top of the rear end housing. And then you've got an oval tip here that comes out right underneath that chrome rear bumper. And then of course we have our fuel tank back here. Again, all of your fuel lines, the brake lines and such coming back through the car, those are all dry. And the fuel tank, you can see how nice a condition that is in also. No dents or dings in it. All of your straps and mounting hardware all look to be in really good shape here. Good and secure everywhere here underneath. And from what we can see from the underside of our trunk floor, that is all good and solid all the way around too. Of course, we've already seen from inside the trunk. We're just kind of taking a look from the bottom side now. So that's pretty much the underside of our Roadrunner. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get this off of the lift so that we can go underneath the hood and fire that 383 Mopar engine up. Before we do that though, always keep in mind that we are an ATC trailer dealer as well. So if you are looking for an enclosed race/car enclosed trailer, we've got multiple models here in stock, ready to be purchased. And again, you could possibly put one of these classics in it there and take it away. That way you've got a car and a nice transporter for it. So if you're in the market for a trailer, hit us up there. You can always go check our inventory out by going through our normal car website, clicking on the trailer inventory, or you can actually go right to the trailer site, which is hankstershaulers.com, and you'll be able to see the pricing, options, descriptions, as well as multiple photos of each unit we have here in stock. With that said, let's go ahead and get this off the lift, go ahead and get that motor fired up for you.